Well, hello ladies and gents, welcome to Friday morning. Well, not quite morning, no, it's midday, but near enough. It's 28th of April and we've had some rain. Now I know the rest of the country has, well, seems to have had a lot more rain than we have. But we've definitely had some last night. I'm not quite sure how much, but there's enough. I don't know how well you can see, but it actually looks like it might rain a bit more. So I'm just having a look through the boys' winter field, the one at Muck spread last week, pretty much a week ago. I came out yesterday knowing that it was going to rain today and chain harrowed all the muck out. So I actually went at like a 45-degree angle compared to the way I muck spread it. As you can see, it's poured it around a bit, which is quite nice. It broke some of the lumps up of straw, which was, well, quite nice. It did roll some of it, unfortunately, but I can't win them all. But yeah, it's looking a lot better now. Shouldn't take long for it to rot into the ground and disappear, which will be the plan. And then with this rain and hopefully the warmth we might be getting in the next week or so, should hopefully bring this grass on. We seem to have gone through a bit of a lull of no rain and cool temperatures. But yeah, looking good. So today's job is in the workshop. So I get myself in there and we'll start off with today's project. So I've got a bit of work to do on this old girl. Unfortunately, it is a redo job because I'm an idiot, but such is life. So pick-up hitch is on. I managed to get pretty much one linkage arm on. It has had its new ends put on, both ends. You can see how well from that. So new end on that end and new end that end. Put the adjusters on, and well, it needs fettling to fit in the hole, which is a good start. So yeah, that's one side nearly done. Came to this side and realised that under here there's like a double mounting system. So there's one bracket there and one bracket there, and basically that end goes between the two, and there is a stepped pin as well, which I can't see at the moment. I don't know where I've put that. But there is actually a step pin that goes through and holds it together, just like this side here. So link arm comes up, one casting, two casting, and pin goes through. Well, that's where the pin is. That's why I couldn't find it. So it steps like that, goes through that way, and both of them go that way. Unfortunately, I don't know how, but I can't get that up now. So that casting won't go around the side of that and round the pickup hitch. And also I think I've got to take the air ram off that I've just put on as well to get the pin in. Nobody thought of that. I should have gone, pin should go that way through rather than what it is now, which is that way. So that means I've got to take all the bolts off. What I am going to do is replace the spring washers that are in these 4 bolts as well. Whilst they're off, I might as well do it. And then that should be done then. I had a slight problem with these lift arms as well, with the bolts that go through. When it was latched up, I couldn't get the bolts through. When I dropped it all the way down, the angles must have been right just to slide them in. I don't know if that's because of all the movement that's still in this, or if something had changed or what. My mate that did the work on this up at Price's said he put them back as they were, and I'm fairly sure they were just straight steels through there. And all they did was bore the holes out, I think, for these, so nothing should have changed. But what I'm going to do is jack it up and see if it locks, and make sure it locks. And then if it does, I can adjust all these so that they're the right length. And then that'll be done. The arms will be on, and the back end will be done for this year. Definitely need to get those done for next year though, because they're as sloppy as out. But she'll carry me through this year. So the other job, just while I'm walking past it, the 698 broke the end of its steering ram off, as so. So this bit goes into a ball joint, which then powers the steering backwards and forwards. That's actually the other end as well. So that goes onto there, and then your ball sits on there. I showed that off the other day. Managed to get the piston out, or the chrome rod out, what you want to call it. So basically this sits, it's got a bit of a cover end of, so that's sat in there, and basically all that does is, oh hang on, so yeah, all this does is pretty much feed itself around in a groove on the inside of there, which holds that cap on. You can see the groove that it sits in. And then it was just a case of pulling that rod out, literally just pulling it out at the end. So yeah, hopefully we've got a new rod, a new chrome rod on order. That should be coming, so it'll be a case of getting that nut off, getting these off, new seals into it, pop it all back in there, put it back on the tractor, and hopefully be fixed. But it does look like somebody's been in here before, because I don't know how well you'll see, but there is markings on it. It looks like somebody's had a pair of grips on it or something. Don't know if you're going to pick it up on the camera, but, and these seals are all pretty hard anyway, so they're all done. So that's another project that I've got to try and sort out as well. Ooh. So yeah, there's always something. Right, so as I was saying earlier, I was having problems with these pickup rods and the bolts to it, but I've managed to jack up the pickup hitch and it locks in, so that's good. And the bolts haven't sheared off, which is good. So that'll do me for the time being. All I've got to do now is undo these 4 bolts here, and then try and fix that stupid little mistake of mine. I've also been to try and get some bolts and some spring washers for the bolts underneath, but I've had to order them. So we're getting somewhere now. I've undone the 4 bolts underneath and put an axle stand underneath it to hold that end of the pickup hitch. I've just undone these 4 bolts. I actually wound them all to the end because I thought I wouldn't get enough play out of it. But luckily, if we look now, I've managed to get it slipped up in there with a bit of tapping and banging with a rubber mallet. But she slipped back up there, which is good. So all I need to do now is take off the air cylinder that's here. Because, of course, that's in the way for the pin as well. So, yeah, I think they're just M13 bolts. So I'll just whip either that end off or other end off. And then I can put the pin back through, linkage arm on. All the bolts re-tightened again. And as I said before, I've ordered new bolts for these ones because they're looking a bit thin. But until then, I'll probably just bang the 4 back in that I've got, and then we're somewhat like. Good morning, ladies and gents. Welcome to Saturday morning, and I can see it's going to be one of them days again, just like yesterday. I've already had toe strap out, and well, D shackles for New Holland. There's one the caravan has got stuck on his motorhome. So, yeah, just been pulling out first thing. Hadn't even got out of the truck before I got collared. So, go back on there, and then we're starting on this again. So, yesterday I managed to get all the bolts done, that bracket back in, that arm on, and then tried to have a go at putting the stabiliser arm on. But, unfortunately, the stabiliser arms are a bit different to the old one by a fair bit. So what I ended up doing yesterday, actually I'll leave that there. I don't know if you can tell very well, but I've actually ground the shoulder completely off. Should be like that one, with the shoulder on it. Taking the shoulders completely off to try and fit it through that gap. You can see where I've actually been bringing it onto it. Just about got it to fit, and then realised that the actual diameter there is a lot larger than that one there. So what I've got to do this morning is take the grinder to this and pretty much take that, what, 5mm off on one corner, so it allows it to pivot in there. Otherwise I've pretty much just got a fixed linkage arm. Instead on that side, I've then got to do the same on that side. It is pretty annoying because that end fits like a glove. It's lovely, but obviously this end doesn't. So yeah, I think I spent about 2 hours yesterday trying to bugger around with fitting it in there. I got so fed up I was going to put the old one back on just to get it done. But anyway, we'll have a go at this. I'll spend another day on it, see how far we get, and if I get really bored I'll just have to stick the old ones on until I get patience and time to bug around putting these back on. Well, I reckon we'd call that a success. So I've just run the old girl up into the village and quick check over, make sure everything's alright. This is her first run out since I did the radiator and the injector seals and stuff, so nothing on the floor at the moment. And when we get her back, I've just got some stuff to move around in the yard, and then I'll put this in and then I'll just have a quick, well, a bit of a better look. I'll open the bonnet up and make sure the seals are alright that we did as well for the injectors. But yeah, missed having the big girl out. And that turbo whistle. Such a big child. Right, so we're back in the yard. And no drips underneath, which is good. No messy rattles, just clearing away. I do need to set the pickup hitch as well for it. So I need to adjust all these so that the lift downs pick up the hitch enough to release it. So I need to have a fiddle around with that. That might take some time. I'm probably need another person because that lever doesn't seem to quite get over the top of the tank at the moment. She's fouled them here. I don't know if you'll see it there. There's that link out. It just gets caught in this band. So a bit of playing around today, but no massive problem. But yeah, that's it. She's done for this winter. Just get the bills paid for. But yeah, happy days. Right, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.